take the first lead. Okay, hopefully everybody can see that. So we're talking about streaming on your TV. And the focus today is more on technology, with the exception we will talk about YouTube and subscribing to YouTube channels. So I'm going to start by talking a little about Roku and Chromecast. And then Marilyn's going to talk about Amazon Fire. We've got a couple of folks in the group who use Xfinity and DirecTV more. We'll talk a little bit about DVRs, and we'll then spend the ending talking about YouTube. So with that in mind, the first thing we're going to talk about is Roku. Roku is the sort of workhorse device that works on all systems. You can have it on any laptop or tablet or cell phone, or you can have it without anything. It can be if you have a TV and don't have a device, you can use this. So Roku is about $50 on Amazon right now, and I'm going to stick you with a short video which explains a little bit about it better than I can. I want to stop a second. This is what a Roku screen looks like. I'm getting feedback. Okay, this is what it looks like, where you have different channels you can access, such as YouTube, Netflix, etc. Okay. I want to stop here for a second. If most of these devices only work with an HDMI connector in your television, but Roku has a generation of activities that will, of devices that will work if you just have your good old-fashioned three-pronged location in your old TV. Okay, so that's Roku. The other device I want to talk about is Chromecast. And Chromecast is a very different technology. This is aimed at allowing you to stream from your device onto the television. And of course, the classic example of that used to be if you got photographs on your device you'd like to show to people, you can throw them on the television and let people watch them. But this can be used for almost anything that you can get on your laptop and have it stream onto the television. So we're going to do another brief video.
Do these videos have video, audio?
Ask that question again.
Do these videos have audio? I'm not hearing anything. So I'm.
Oh, thank you very much. Nobody reminded me to make sure my audio was on. Okay, we're going to do that. Apologies. Somebody should have caught that. All right. So I'm not going to, I don't think it's appropriate to go back, is it? As I talked over the other. But yes, we will now have audio.
Great.
Further, this is my quick review and setup tutorial for the new 2015 Chromecast. Now, what is a Chromecast? Basically, it's a dongle that connects to your HD TV and enables you to use your smartphone.
Okay, vocabulary, guys. This is called a dongle, D-O-N-G-L-E. It's basically a piece of electronics that hooks into your TV and turns it into something else. Okay, so that's a dongle. Terminology.
Tablet or computer to wirelessly stream video or audio to your HD TV. So if you want to make your TV smart, then this $35 2015 Chromecast is one of the best and cheapest ways to do it. The box comes with everything you need: the Chromecast, a USB cable, and a power adapter, along with simple instructions that I will walk you through in this video. First, make sure you have a Wi-Fi connection, an HD TV with an available HDMI port.
Okay, and what should be obvious, but everything we're talking about does require Wi-Fi.
And a smartphone, tablet, or computer. Chromecast works with Android devices, iPhone and iPad, Windows, Mac, and Chromebooks. Next, connect the small end of the USB cable into the Chromecast, then connect your Chromecast to your TV's HDMI port using the HDMI connector. If your TV has a USB port, you can plug the USB cable into it to power your Chromecast, and if your TV does not have a USB port, you'll have to connect the USB cable to the power adapter and plug the power adapter into an outlet. Once you see the Chromecast light up, that means it has power, and the next step is to turn on your TV if it's not already on and change the source or input to the HDMI port where your Chromecast is connected.
Okay, I hope everybody understood that, but with your television, you have multiple places, and you will have gotten used to this if you have a DVD player, okay, because you change over from your cable channel to DVD. Similarly, you change over to Chromecast or to Roku if that's what you're trying to work with.
Now, once you see your Chromecast screen on your TV, you can go to your phone, tablet, or computer and visit chromecast.com/setup. Before doing this, however, make sure your phone, tablet, or computer is connected to your Wi-Fi network. If you're on your phone or tablet like I am, it'll ask you to install the free Chromecast app. Once that's installed, open it up and go to Devices and follow the prompts to set up a new Chromecast. Verify that your TV screen is displaying the same code, select your region, and give your Chromecast a name. The next part is where you will select your Wi-Fi network and enter your Wi-Fi password in order for the Chromecast to connect to your Wi-Fi successfully. It may take a minute or two to finish the setup, and once it's finished, it'll most likely start the update process. During the update, the Chromecast will show a short instructional video on your TV, so go ahead and watch that to get a little more familiar with it. The update may take a few minutes, so just be patient. Now, when it's finished, you should see your TV displaying ready to cast. And take a good look at that casting icon, because whenever you see that icon in any of your apps, that means it's able to stream to your Chromecast. Another thing to remember is that your device that you're streaming from must be connected to the same Wi-Fi network that the Chromecast is connected to in order for it to work. So let's take a quick look at the new Chromecast app, which now offers more features. From this app, you can see which movies, TV shows, and music you can stream from your installed apps. You can search for entertainment titles in the app as well, and it will give you recommended apps that are compatible with Chromecast. You can also manage your Chromecast device from the app. Now let me show you how to stream from some of the more popular apps that you probably have on your phone. Of course, it works with YouTube. When you open it, you should see the casting icon at the top, and if you tap it and select your Chromecast from the pop-up menu, it should connect to your TV. Now you can tap on a YouTube video from your phone, and it will play on your TV. You can create.
Okay, did you all catch that? He started it on his phone, and it played on the TV.
Create queues of videos to have them automatically play after each other, and yes, it will keep playing if you lock your device or go to another app. You can also use apps like Netflix, Hulu, Spotify, and Pandora, just to name a few. To see a full list of compatible Chromecast apps, I will have a link in the description below, so check that out. And an often overlooked feature of the Chromecast that I absolutely love is the screensaver feature that has some of the most amazing photos on it. Now, sometimes I'll just have the Chromecast on just so I can look at those pictures on my TV. So there you go. You now have a smart TV thanks to your new 2015 Chromecast 2nd generation. If you have any questions, leave a comment below.
Okay. So, Marilyn, do you want to take over? I'm going to stop sharing and you can come in. Before I do that, why don't I stop sharing and we'll take questions. I'm not sure why I'm getting an echo. No questions? Everybody's with it? Peggy, do you have a question?
Sandy has a question. Just unmute yourself, Sandy.
I just did.
Yeah.
We'll start with
there.
Peggy. Peggy
Thank you.
first.
Okay.
I'll wait
Go
till
ahead,
Sandy-
Peggy.
Oh, I just got stuck in that traffic coming down. And are you recording this, George? So I can.
Yes, I am.
Great.
Yes, I am.
Thank you very much. Okay, Sandy.
My question was, if you have a smart TV, do you need one of these devices, or is this just for TVs that are not smart?
The general answer is you don't need a Roku, but since your smart TV will actually have a Roku channel. Okay. Okay, and then it just doesn't cost you anything to run Roku. It's just a different way of managing things.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes on the smart TV, you've got your Netflix and you've got the half a dozen critical links. Okay. On the other hand, it's possible, I don't know all smart TVs, Sandy, but the ability to cast your device onto the television, okay, may not be one that you have today with your smart TV, and that may require the Chromecast or something to go with it.
Okay.
And Sandy, that's true too for the Fire Stick. I'll touch on that too. But even if you had a smart TV, a Fire Stick gets you more than your smart TV can do.
Okay. Yeah, because I can't figure out how to add apps onto my smart TV. I have the basic 5 or 6, like George said, but I don't know how to get any more.
And one of the things that's true with the Roku is you can add the apps on your computer. In other words, you bring up your account on the computer and you add the app that you're interested in. Okay, so for example, I'm a big opera junkie, and I'm into the Metropolitan Opera's videos of their previous performances. Okay, and that's a new channel. So I add the channel Metropolitan Opera, and now when I go to my television, okay, whether I'm in the bedroom or in the TV room, okay, I can bring up my Roku, and then from Roku I bring up the Metropolitan Opera, and then I just go right. Okay. And this is one of the keys to the eventual weaning we will be doing of the old cable, is our ability to pick the channels that we want that do what we want to do. Another weird example, which a lot of, if you're a baseball junkie, you would recognize, okay, this was not a baseball year for me for many reasons, but baseball, you can do a baseball channel through Comcast. You can do a thing that will get you to all the baseball games, okay? For half the price, you can do it on the internet, okay? So for half the price, I get it on the internet, and the internet version lets me get either the home feed or the away feed. So I can get either version of the feed the way it is. Okay, Elliot, you had a question. You're muted.
Smart TVs that Sandy brought up have a way to add apps.
Yep.
You could add apps directly. You could go, if you have an internet function on the smart TVs, and most do, you could do it through that way. And then you don't need any of these added devices, because the apps, whether it's Netflix or YouTube or whatever, are easily added on. Tubi, it's a very easy add-on. You just have to go to the function for apps on your smart TV, and you could search for it, and it usually helps you, or else you can go online and find the instructions. And then you don't need the additional advice. You just get, you don't even need a computer to go onto the computer. So you can go onto the internet through your smart TV directly.
Okay, now I'm going to hit a couple of other things, and I am going to turn it over to Marilyn. The first is, You can take these devices with you. When we would go on vacation, we will take the device with us, plug it into the television where we go, and it will immediately recognize that we can access all of our subscriptions to various things. Okay, we don't have to redo that. The second is, Ellie was totally correct, but if you have something on your computer that isn't an app, so for example, I did a presentation and wanted to show it on the television, I can do that with the Chromecast. I can cast it onto the screen. And I know, Ellie, I may be able to do that through the internet. I had a question coming in from Janet, I think.
Yeah, right. I'm just curious. I don't know if this is a good time to bring it up, but I first tried the Roku stick. And that, I have an old TV, but it's an oldie, but it's a goodie. So I keep resisting getting a new one.
Yes.
But the thing is, I tried the Roku stick and it got very, very hot. I was actually afraid, you know, and also on the screen it says this is overheating or something. Okay. Then I got the Fire Stick. It's a little warm, but it's nothing like the Roku. Has anyone had that experience with the Roku stick?
No.
Maybe it's just that I have an old TV. I don't know.
I think so.
Yeah. But anyway, that's just a thrown out there.
Okay. No more questions at this time. Marilyn, you're on.
Okay, before I go to share screen, these are the two objects I'm talking about. So this is the Amazon Fire Stick, and you can see that it looks just like that Roku. And it connects right here, just like it showed you in the videos. You just plug it into one of your HDMI ports. And Janet, I also have a very old TV. My TV is 12 years old.
Wow.
So it is not a smart TV, and this works for me. And Ella, just to answer your question, there are some advantages to having this stick, even if I had a smart TV, and that's with the Amazon Prime subscription.
Did you say that was Roku or the Fire Stick?
I have the Fire Stick.
Okay, that's what I have too, and have no trouble with it overheating, but I sure did with the Roku stick.
Okay, and then here's the remote, and this remote is even simpler looking than the Roku. You noticed in that one commercial they shoved over, in George's video, they shoved over all those other complicated remotes. The remotes have gotten much simpler, much easier to use, and on the Amazon Fire Stick, I have a button right up here, and I can just talk into it and have it find whatever program I'm looking for with an audio, and not have to scroll through screens. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I have a couple of slides to share with you. And again, mine is an old TV.
Pardon me? Oh.
So just a second to load up so you can see. Does everybody see that? You good, George? Okay. So the Fire TV, the Fire Stick, has 3 different models right now. So the little graphic you see here has the 4K version. So I have the original one. There's 3 different ones. Every one, as you bump up, has some other features to it. I do fine with the one that I have. So, whoops, sorry. Go back one. So it makes your TV smart by giving it internet connectivity. That's the most important thing, and enables apps. And I like to think of the apps as channels, just easier to think about it that way. And one of the things that we mentioned last time is all of this lets you watch what you want on demand. Anything you want when you want to watch it. So it plugs in just like the Roku. There's a port on the back of your TV. You have to have the Wi-Fi, and then, as I mentioned, it has the controlled remote. So you just plug it in, and then it goes through a setup process. You sign into your Amazon account. So you do need to have an Amazon account. And then it walks you right through everything. It takes less than 5 minutes. Just like George mentions, it's portable. You take it with you. You can connect it to any other TV. Take it with you when you're traveling. The cost ranges between $30 and $50, depending on which version you get. So now I mentioned here, you don't have to be an Amazon Prime customer. You do have to have an Amazon account. But it's really geared for those of us who have Amazon Prime memberships. So many of us got Prime memberships in the past just so we would get free shipping. It used to be $99 for a year. It's now $119 a year. But you get a lot for your $119. So besides the free delivery, and for right now too, they also have Amazon Pantry, so you can get your groceries delivered. I believe you just have to make a minimum $35 purchase and then you get free delivery on grocery items. These are going to be dry goods. The main thing that we're looking at is the Prime Video. You have Amazon Originals. So you may have heard of some of these shows, Mozart in the Jungle, Bosch, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Those are only available on Amazon. Then there's TV shows and movies. So there's 500,000 to pick from. Not to worry, you can create watch lists and you can view them later. You also have access to tens of millions of songs. You have Prime Reading. There's 1,000 ebooks. And as was mentioned before too, your pictures get saved up to Amazon Photos, and then you can very easily display these on your TV screen. You can either go directly and show your videos, or whenever your TV goes to sleep, kind of like when your computer does, your pictures just show up. So beyond Prime, this is where it can get a little bit confusing. Amazon Prime of itself gives you those three things I mentioned: TV shows, movies, and Amazon Originals. When you have your Fire Stick, it also preloads all of these other, what we want to think of as
I'm on
apps.
a Zoom call. I just want to know what time in the morning, 9 o'clock?
Well, I thought Ken was going with
He
it.
is, but he's
Well,
not.
we need to mute somebody there.
Do you not want to go?
I have to take my car to the,
I know, I was going to take you.
Okay.
George, can we determine who that is and put them on mute?
Maybe you could just take my place, because you know all the things that.
Okay.
We're all
Great.
set.
All right. So there are what we would call free and subscribed services. An example of free would be YouTube. You can go to YouTube for free and just watch videos that are there. There's PBS Masterpiece. If you have a KQED account, you're a member, then you have access to Masterpiece. Med Opera, as George explained, right now, that's free. Netflix, of course, was going to be one of your subscribed accounts. The same with Apple TV, Hulu, or Disney. Here's where this addresses what Elihu was mentioning. Prime members, though, can also add 100+ other channels. Now, some of these will also be on your smart TV, like HBO and Starz, but certain ones too, like BritBox and Acorn, I can subscribe to those for an additional fee, and I do that through my Amazon account. So, for example, BritBox, anything British, costs an extra $5 a month. And then, again, you don't need any kind of cable, no additional apps to download. They're all right there. You only pay for the channels you want. You can cancel anytime you want. Almost all of them start with a free trial. And then you can just go month to month. There's no contracts on any of these.
Can I make a point?
Sure.
And periodically you will find there's something you really want to watch. Like I really wanted to watch the new Star Trek. So we signed up for CBS All Access for 1 month, and we watched everything we wanted to, and then that was it. So I paid 1 month and got to watch all of it. A lot cheaper than going to a movie.
So a little bit more on YouTube. So YouTube is free, but if you create your own account, you have a lot more options. So you can subscribe to YouTube channels and then quickly get to them, so you don't have to be hunting around looking for them. So a couple of examples for us here. Santa Rosa Symphony, you know, they're going all virtual with their concerts this year, and they have a YouTube channel. The Santa Rosa Junior College Theater Arts is also online only this year. If you haven't seen Murder on the Orient Express, it was fabulous. Transcendence also had their own YouTube channel. It also has a library option, so you can go back and view your history. So I can see past Oakmont Sunday Symposium ones that have been recorded and put up there. And you can also have a watch list to watch things later. So this is not mine. This is what a YouTube homepage would look like. And I just want to draw your attention. Really, it's just here, the library and the subscriptions and the history. Watch later. Those are the ones that are really important. And what I did is I tried to capture mine. It's hard to do. You see me taking a picture of my TV screen. So I don't have as much stuff as that other one had. But the important things for me are my subscriptions. And when I go there, that's where I see my Santa Rosa Junior College Theater one and the Santa Rosa Symphony. I have a history I can go back to, so you can see there's an Oakmont Sunday Symposium that's posted there. And I can also have things that are watched later. So that's basically it for the Fire Stick. And I'm going to go ahead and take myself off sharing. Oops, sorry. I'm going to stop sharing. And I am open for questions.
Okay, see Sandy and Elihu both have comments or questions. And then Gina. So Sandy, you're on first.
Okay, so you said that the Fire Stick lets you watch everything on demand. Does that mean you don't need a DVR anymore?
You don't need a DVR because you can watch, it depends what you're watching, right? So within the Prime suite, I can pull up like, I'm trying to think of something offhand. Yeah, you can watch whenever you want. I also have Netflix, so I've got my Netflix one right there. So I can go back and watch, like I'm watching Schitt's Creek right now, right? So I can go back and watch all the series. I think there's 8 seasons of that one anytime I want, right? That's one of the big advantages to something like this.
But you can't get, for example, if you want NBC nightly news, live regular shows.
Okay, so for something like...
Or This Is Us.
Okay, so This Is Us, I believe, is on NBC, and they have their own channel that you can also subscribe to. But what I am going to get next is I'm going to get a Hulu subscription. I have not cut the cord. This is what George was mentioning before. You switch back and forth between your HDMI ports. So when I'm doing anything that's on my Fire Stick, that's my HDMI 1. When I go to HDMI 2, that's my regular TV that I get through Xfinity cable. I am going to be cutting that cord, but I need to get something to take its place, right? The Fire Stick is not live TV, it's streaming. Hulu offers a package of streaming and live TV, and also allows you to record. So if I have like, and if I'm a person that wants to watch the news every night at 10 o'clock, and maybe one night I'm not going to be home, then I would need something like a live TV. There's other ones out there. There's Sling. YouTube has its own package, but the Hulu one gets you streaming, it gets you the movies, and it gets you live TV of all the major networks, CNN, a number of sports, and then you can record them. They give you 50 hours.
Okay,
and then there's
50 hours a month.
It's right now Hulu's, I believe, is $55 a month for live TV. Your streaming and your live TV is it's around $50 a month, $55 a month.
No, I mean that 50 hours of recording.
50 hours of recording time. Yeah, 50 hours.
And
it's not 50 hours a month, Sandy. It's not cumulative. It's 50 hours total.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
so you keep erasing when you're done. Right. Yeah.
When you start making this move, there are 2 things to keep in mind. One of them is keep track of what you really actually do watch. Sometimes your feeling as to what you watch is partly mythological. Okay, you think you watch this all the time, but the fact of the matter is you really don't. And what is true is a lot of the stuff that you can get through the apps is oriented to streaming previous seasons or current seasons of something, you know. So we may want to get Endeavor, which we happen to enjoy, and there's a new season that's just been coming out. But if we wait another month, we'll be able to stream it, you know, and the net value we get out of trying to do it every week is much less than what we get. And it depends on what it is you watch. If you're into sports, then you have a different, but I'm sorry, were you into sports, you would be into a different channel than if you were into other things. So you want to keep track, and then you want to explore the channels that meet you. And this bit about signing up for 1 month to watch something you really want to, okay, it takes some discipline, but it's actually pretty easy to do. Surprisingly easy. Now, the other thing to remember is as you begin to think about cutting the cord, like with Comcast, many of us have a triple play, okay? And so you have to make sure that you understand what your world's likely to be like, because you still have to have the internet, and you may also have your phone on them. So the costs are not always the savings they look like. Elihu, you've been holding back on a comment.
I wanted to bring up a question about privacy with YouTube. And I don't know, since Marilyn talked about YouTube subscriptions, I know there's privacy policy with the others. Now, I know YouTube has a free subscription and has a pay subscription. But what does the privacy function with YouTube subscription, and what kind of ads do you get with that? Do you know, or does anyone know?
Well, one thing to clarify too, they don't want to muddy the waters here, but YouTube is also offering, they're a competitor to Hulu and Sling. So they will also give you YouTube plus a whole bunch of channels like Hulu does. So that's different when we're talking subscription. That's using YouTube to do live TV and streaming. The subscriptions that I was talking about is you're not paying for them. You're just saying, I'm subscribing to the Santa Rosa Symphony channel. I don't pay anything for that. It just falls under my subscription so that I can find them.
Right.
I don't know where the privacy piece comes in there.
Well, in the sense that I know when I go to YouTube, right away they give me, and I don't have a YouTube subscription, but YouTube's obviously linked to my smart TV, and they know what I've watched in the past, and they keep track of it because they give me links to other things similar or further. So there's a whole sense of privacy issues that I think it's important to at least be aware of, that once you go on to YouTube, they start keeping track of you and they know what you're doing. And I don't know who that becomes available to, but certainly you get lots of other, what should I say, offerings.
Now that's going to be true though, Elihu, that's true for all of them. So my Prime Video will do that for me.
Right.
Google will do that. It's no different than if you think about the internet world that we live in, when you're on your computer and you started to see things over on the right-hand side column that said you might be interested in this, right? The pop-up ads.
Yeah, but I can block
very
those.
Similar to that.
I block pop-ups and I block, tracking, and I block Google tracking. I don't use Google for searches for just that reason. So I was.
I think, Elihu, what you're talking about is the whole issue. We've talked about this for a couple of years.
Yes.
Privacy versus personalization.
Yes.
Okay. The whole artificial intelligence world and the personalization gives you a much more powerful internet, but what you're giving up for that is a degree of your privacy.
Yes.
You have to decide that that's a trade-off you're willing to make.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to bring it up that it's something we need to be aware of with YouTube.
Yeah. Now I'm going to make I accidentally put down two people's hands without unmuting them. So I don't know whose hands I put down. Okay. And I'm going to let Gina talk now. But if I put your hand down and you want to talk, put your hand back up, please. I rarely make this mistake, but I did. Gina, you're on.
Thank you, George. I wanted to comment about YouTube. I'm a huge YouTube fan because if there's anything I need to learn how to do, like a new tool or how to set a mole trap or how to grow tomatoes, I go to YouTube. And Sandy, I would go to YouTube. I would ask YouTube to show me how to use my apps on my TV. And there'll be several channels that will help you through that. And almost always I find something that's helpful. And as far as privacy, I agree with Marilyn and George. As long as we're streaming content, I think we all know that we have very little privacy. And I use my Alexa, and this is a little trick I just discovered a few months ago, and I love it. Instead of turning on my TV and waiting till it turns on, and then selecting Netflix and waiting for that to turn on, I'll just say, Alexa, turn on Netflix. And I can walk to the kitchen, come back, and Netflix is waiting for me. I love that.
Okay, I'm going to go over now to YouTube from the viewpoint of talking a moment about what you have to do to get YouTube on your television. Many of you may have it on, if not all of you, but it's just worth a diversion. So if that's okay, we're going to go there. And again, I apologize for wherever I shut off earlier. I didn't mean to. Okay. Okay.
In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how you can set up YouTube on your Roku TV. So if you don't already have the YouTube application installed and on your application, so you already have the YouTube application on the streaming channels. And then over in this section, it should be pretty much the top result in the top free channel store area. You can see it's the #1 result here. But if you can't find it in that section, you can also just go down to streaming channels and click OK, and then.
Okay. For those of us who have problems with small buttons, I want to point out that a certain amount of the searching you do on your television physically occurs by a screen like this coming up on the TV, and you're using your remote to move up and down and pick out letters. Okay? It's a little problem that you have to think about.
And go down and just type in Y, and the #1 result should be YouTube as well. So then you can just go over, click on YouTube, and then in this page you can go ahead and download and install the application. So after you do that, going back to our home page by clicking the home button on our Roku remote, your YouTube application should show up in the bottom area. The most recent apps that you install show up at the bottom of your app list. So if you want to move YouTube up to the top of your list, simply on your Roku remote, click the star or the asterisk button, and then you can click Move Channel, and then you can go ahead and put the YouTube application wherever you want it to be. So the next thing we're going to do is launch YouTube. And then the first time you do this, I highly recommend linking YouTube to your specific YouTube account, especially if you have an account that's hooked up to a lot of different channels that you've subscribed to. It's really going to help you tailor your experience on this application. So what you're going to want to do is go over to the left-hand side of the screen.
Okay, I want to stop here. So what he's doing is he's showing you how to hook up your TV Roku YouTube to the account that you have on your computer. And that gives you the ability or strengthens the ability that Marilyn was talking about to have these subscriptions that you can put on your television or on your computer or on your tablet, whatever, and access YouTube wherever you want to.
Where there's that little profile picture, and then go over and click the sign in option. So it says sign in using the YouTube mobile app. Tap your account. You can go ahead and do it this way. I prefer just going into my web browser and linking my account that way. So we're going to go to try another way. So you just simply go to youtube.com/activate and then type in this particular code. So I'm going to go do that on my computer and then come back.
Okay, this is a frequent thing you will see as you try to get apps on your television. You will frequently see that they want to link, and the best way to link is to actually go back to your computer if you have a computer, or something else where you can go to a browser and go to this place, in this case YouTube Activate, and put in the code, and then it immediately links you across.
back to show you how it looks after you log into your respective account. All right, guys, I just got done linking my specific YouTube account on my laptop at that website that was just on the screen. You type in the code, and then you just go through, and then it'll end up linking your account to your YouTube application. So as you can see here on the left-hand side of the screen, if you go down to the option that's right under that home area, you can see all of your different subscriptions there. You can see I have 116 different YouTube subscriptions, and then the most recent videos from all the people that you follow are going to show up in this area as well. So it's a good way to just kind of cater your specific YouTube experience. So that's pretty much going to wrap up this video, guys.
Okay. What I'm going to do now, if I can get it back there, I get it back where I want. Okay. So now I'm going to go to YouTube on my computer. And what I want to show you is a couple of things here. So I'm going to go to my videos, your videos, and these are the things I have watched. Okay, so this is the Iris Herald discussion, I think. This is the new upcoming, this Sunday, if you come to the Sunday Symposium, it's the Santa Rosa Rural Cemetery. Great, great thing. And these are all the things I've watched over a period of time, okay, that are mine. It's also a channel, okay, and this channel is called the Future Oakmont Channel, and you can go and you can sign up for this channel, okay, or you can go to the Oakmont Village Association, okay, and down here is the Village Association, and if I click on that, that's a channel, okay. Now, it's an old channel. They're about to reinstate it, so all the things on it right now are old. I can subscribe to that, okay? And if I subscribe, as the man was showing a moment ago, that will show up in my subscriptions, although there aren't any recent subscriptions here. So you can just sign up wherever you want to. You can look it up that way. The other thing you can look up, let's see if I remember now let's just pick one.
George, do you have the symphony, the Santa Rosa Symphony?
Oh, we can do the symphony. I was going to show how you could, here is CNBC with a video on Obama. If I click on that, okay, you will see here I can choose to subscribe to that channel. Okay, now I can do that. And so I think what Marilyn was saying was maybe Santa Rosa Symphony. I could do that. Okay, and here is their channel, and I can subscribe right here to that channel. So again, as you think about how you use things, this is a very powerful way to get YouTube channels, YouTube subscriptions, which you then can get on your television, because all of these subscriptions will show up on your television.
And I think one point to make, George, on that is that everything else we were talking about, everybody else in the country can be watching all that same stuff. What YouTube gives you is that local. In addition to everything else, it really gives you that local connection that, like I mentioned with the Santa Rosa Theater, Transcendence, the Symphony, you can look for just your local, this Oakmont Sunday Symposium. That's a real unique difference there in YouTube.
Okay, I think we're now at a stopping point. Anybody have any questions or comments? I see Gina would like to say something. You're on, Gina.
Yeah, another thing that I like about YouTube is that it has a lot of good movies, and some of them may have commercials, but most of them don't. And I have a Fire Stick just like you, Marilyn, and instead of going through all of my apps to find a particular movie, I'll use the voice control on my Fire Stick and say, find The Lightness of Being. And it'll take a few seconds, and then it will come up and it will show me all my options for watching, either Hulu or YouTube. And I've found that YouTube sometimes has movies that Prime or Hulu or Netflix no longer carry.
Okay, I'm gonna share a screen again, because this one's sort of a fun one for me. share screen here. This is exactly what Jeannie was talking about. I put in and I'm an opera buff, a famous aria. It's called Una fatova lagrima. I can't pronounce it in Italian. And it consists of 9 high Cs. Okay. And what I'm finding on YouTube is you can have Pavarotti's version. You can have, I'm trying to remember who this is, but you go down through all these different versions. There's Caruso. Okay. You can list the different singers do this great aria, and how they come out differently. Okay, it's great fun. So I will stop sharing. Next comment or question. Okay.
Wait. I have a question, George.
Peggy.
I missed this early on and I apologize. You keep saying subscribe. So when I hear subscribe, I see $signs. Is that
Nope.
correct?
Nope. All subscribe means is that you have told the people on YouTube that, right? So for example, if you subscribe to the Oakmont Village Association, all it means is 2 things. First of all, if they post something new, it will show up on YouTube for you to look at, just like, you know, anything where you have a friended somebody. Same kind of logic. Okay.
Okay.
The second one is it shows up as one of your subscriptions. So you can always go and say, oh, okay, I want to see this thing I watched before from the Santa Rosa Symphony. And you go click Santa Rosa Symphony and then you go click and watch it. Okay. So it's a subscription in that sense. It's like adding a channel.
Okay.
No money.
And then one other thing, Marilyn, you mentioned that the Fire Stick is like anywhere from what, $30 to $50 a month?
No.
No.
A one-time purchase. To buy it, this one cost me, I bought it on when they had one of their sales, so it only cost me $20. But right now they're going for $30, $40, or $50. The newest version that has 4K and all that is $50. It's a one-time purchase. And then it's tied together with my Amazon Prime membership that I pay $119 a year.
So, but you can have the Fire Stick without the Amazon Prime.
Right.
Without Amazon Prime, you have to have an Amazon account.
Okay. Thank you.
I have a question, George.
Go ahead, Jean.
I'm kind of new to all of this. What I've been doing with YouTube is taking stuff off my phone and casting it to my TV, and that works. But what would be the value of me subscribing, and how could I get the Met broadcast, for instance?
Well, okay. The answer is you go to Metropolitan Opera streaming. Okay. Google that. Okay.
Now, do I have to pay a price to subscribe to YouTube for that?
The answer is no, to the extent that they have a weekly free version of an opera. If you want to watch the opera they have that's free, you get that free. Okay? You can also do an annual subscription if you're and that's what we've done. We're super opera buffs, and for $150, we can watch any opera we want, anytime we want.
And George, just for right now during COVID, it's not just one a week, it's one a night is free.
Yeah, one a night.
Oh, really? Okay.
One a night.
So I just go to Google, I get Metropolitan Opera, and then it comes to my phone and I cast to my TV?
What you're starting to do is you want YouTube up. Okay, you don't Google. You go YouTube, open a YouTube account.
Okay.
Let's do it. Okay, this is easier to do than to talk about.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm going to share my screen. Everybody got my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I can put up here Metropolitan Opera.
Okay.
Live stream free. Those are the right words? Okay. So live video streaming free. It's going down here. Here are free online performances. Okay.
Okay.
So I guess right now they're doing La Boheme.
Okay.
So if I click on that, I would get to
This
watch
is OutSystems, the most complete
But I
full-stack
can
application
subscribe.
development platform for professional developers.
Okay.
Quickly create mobile and web applications.
Skip abs. Eliu, that was your ad you were talking about. So now I'm starting into this 3-hour-long offer for free, and I can subscribe to the channel. So if I click here and subscribe to the channel, that means the next, okay, so I'm going to subscribe to the channel.
Right.
Now I'm going to go back, okay, subscriptions. So these are my prescriptions.
Okay.
Should have them, there we go. So what is, so now these are the current things they've got.
Okay.
This is current for my subscriptions.
Okay.
Okay. So that's mostly from, I guess the current ones are all pretty much from that from the opera channel. Okay. But there they are.
And George, I think just to clarify, because you have a subscription, I do not. And the way the Met Opera right now is doing it, it's one per night. You have to watch it on that day and into the next morning. So it only lasts from, I forget which time, Eastern time. So I watch it at night. You're either watching the whole 3 hours or you finish it in the morning, and then it goes away for the free one that they do every night.
Yeah, so what you do is you basically, as with many other things in life, decide that's what you want to do that day, and you go watch it. Okay, any other comments? I see Gina's back again.
I just wanted to clarify, because if you're new to YouTube, I can understand being frightened by the word subscription. As George said, YouTube is free, but it's made up of millions of people who provide content, videos for YouTube. They're called YouTubers. And many times you'll see, well, many times they'll have ads that you have to watch before their content plays. But you'll see a YouTuber say, please subscribe to my channel. And there's two reasons for that. One, YouTube pays them. And in fact, you can make a very good living off of providing constant YouTube content. But another reason is because you can actually rate or vote thumbs up or thumbs down for some content. And you can also leave a comment if you subscribe. You can't do that if you don't subscribe. But it's free. The YouTubers put up commercials. Amazon or YouTube probably gets a part of that profit and then shares it with the YouTubers. So there's probably over 1 million channels, and some of them can get pretty gritty. So watch where you go, and and it's free, other than maybe watching a 30-second ad.
When I used to teach searching, over back in the days, remember when we go into the Computer Learning Center, take a class? When I used to teach that, one of my favorites would be to say, okay, tell me a piece of music that you really love, okay? And the next thing you know, I would have some great jazz pianist up on a YouTube recording playing that piece of music, okay? That's what you can do with YouTube, something you're in love with, like I just did a moment ago with the opera arias. John Tomlin, you have a comment.
Yes, I use YouTube on my computer all the time, and I watch that more than I watch TV. But if I could watch it on the TV, that would be great, except on my computer, I can load an application called Ad Blocker, so I never see an advertisement on YouTube. Is there some kind of equivalent to that for the TV version?
I'm unaware of that. Marilyn?
I'm not aware of it on YouTube, but this is where, when I mentioned Hulu and the live TV, Sling does this, and so does the YouTube package. You can pay extra to not see commercials. So on Hulu, for an extra $10 a month, you don't see any commercials. The downside, and this goes to what Sandy was talking about with recording, if you record something, like say I record the 10 o'clock news and I watch it later, I cannot fast forward through the commercials of something I recorded.
Okay, I'm going to close this out. There was a comment that came in, if anybody didn't see it, that said if you really want to get into privacy, you can always watch the Netflix movie Social Dilemma. So I'll, okay, and as I said earlier when we started off, 2 weeks from now, we are not going to be doing what is going to be the Oakmont News. We'll do that later. What we're going to be doing is we have Sasha Burlman, who is a PhD specialist in fire management out of Berkeley, who works for Audubon Canyon Ranch down here at Bouvry, and is the Bay Area expert in dealing with fires in our forests and how to live with them. Okay, and we're going to be sending out a notice with a couple of things to read and a video from her, and then she's going to be there at 4 o'clock 2 weeks from now. Okay, and you won't be allowed to talk about the election. It's November 4th. And she's going to be there, and she will answer questions and give you a little more depth about the reality of the fires here, the forests here, and how to live with them, and what we all need to do. And I think it'll be a very interesting discussion. Look forward to it. Thank you all, and Marilyn, thank you very much.
You're welcome.